Hi everybody, welcome to the Happily Ever After relationship training. My name's Holly and I'm the one who's going to be leading you through this training. So this little informal video is just to tell you about how the course works, what you'll be learning, and also setting your expectations for the course. So first of all, I want to say a massive congratulations to you just for turning up. And I know that might sound a little bit daft, but when you consider that so many people never ever show up in their lives, they spend more time bemoaning the fact that things really aren't the way they want them to be, rather than actually doing anything about it. It shows what kind of a person you are and that you want to make a change in your life, and particularly your relationship, because it's such a crucial area. Any of you who are currently in a stage in your relationship where you're not happy will know how much that really filters out into all the other areas of your life. And really, how that can affect your entire life just by not being happy. So thank you so much for really taking this in your own hands and deciding that you're going to do something new and exciting, and taking a chance also on me. So who am I? So my name's Holly, and the reason I'm here, the reason I'm doing this is because a few years ago, my husband and I had a massive relationship breakdown. We'd been married for a few years, and out of the blue, he turned around and told me that he didn't love me anymore. And it was a real relationship bombshell for me, because I was kind of like, I thought everything was fine. And yeah, it really came and took my legs out from underneath me. And so we had to, I chose to, because some people at that point will choose to just let the situation run, but I knew in my heart of hearts that I wanted to fight for this. I wasn't going to let it go without a fight, so I decided to learn absolutely everything I could about how we could get our marriage back on track. And indeed, that's exactly what I did. Now, the interesting thing was that two things happened during that process, which neither of us expected. So first of all, we realised that had we known all the things that we were finding out before this situation had arisen, that we'd never have got into the place we were in the first place. We're not necessarily taught in relationships that prevention's best than cure. There tends to be this mindset that we need to wait till we're in crisis to actually do something about making our relationships the best they can possibly be. Secondly, we've actually, over the years, now created a far better version of our relationship than we could have ever imagined. It's just truly better and higher functioning in every way. And so that's why I believe so passionately about this, because I know that it's not just about moving your relationship out of a place where you're in difficulty. It's about, creating something that's really beautiful and positive and sustainable long term. Because, I think, most of us would love to be happy in the long term. When we've found that person that we want to be with, we want to make that work, because it's special. It's amazing to find a person that you want to spend your life with. So I'm assuming why you're here is because you're either in a fairly good place in your relationship and you're just, forward thinking, you're got sort of a growth mindset, you want to learn all you can about how to create a relationship that really lasts the distance, or possibly more likely, just because of the nature of the way we deal with relationships, you'll have found that you are facing a challenge. And you need some help to overcome that challenge. And whichever camp you're in, we're here to help you. Now, I think many of us believe that the initial stage in a relationship is kind of the only stage. So you know the one I'm talking about, where we're all loved up. It's this kind of Snow White stage where, we're cleaning the kitchen and Bambi's there helping us, do the dishes and there's a bluebird on our shoulder and it's all beautiful and it's all flowers and roses and everything's wonderful. However, it doesn't make any sense to believe that, the initial entry point of a relationship would be the pinnacle of our achievement. This doesn't happen anywhere else in life. So I just want to disembarrass you of that at the moment and say the honeymoon stage, where you start off, that is not the greatest possible achievement in your relationship whatsoever. Now, you may well have found yourself in a couple of the further on stages in relationship, and many of us actually believe that there's only this one stage, but there's not. There's quite a few people have identified different stages of relationships, and one of the models I use, there's 5 stages in that model, and people most often get stuck at stage 2, which is known as the power struggle stage. And equally, they can also get stuck at stage 3, which is also known as the stability stage. Both of these stages have a few problems around them. Power struggle stage, clues in the name, you are going to be getting caught in fights and disagreements, and things are going to be feeling very, very difficult indeed. Stability stage is quieter and more peaceful, but equally can be a very stuck in the rut sort of stage as well. So I think, both of those need addressing. And, if you're in the power struggle stage, if you've watched either of the versions of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory film, can feel a bit like that bit where Willy Wonka gets everyone to go on the boat in the tunnel and, things are spinning and nobody knows which direction they're going, and it's a bit of a wild ride and it's up and down and a little bit scary. So, it can feel like that. And, if you're feeling that way, trust me, I know, I've been there, and you can come out the other way, out the other side. So if the honeymoon stage isn't the pinnacle of relationship achievement, what is? And actually, there's something that I think is a bit of a secret stage. It's called the Bliss Stage. And yeah, that is really as good as it sounds. So the Bliss Stage is really when you've kind of worked through all the things that we're going to be talking about, and you fully accept each other, you're operating as a team, you're completely united, you've worked through your differences, you actually move into this stage where it's all about giving. It's all about giving to each other and actually also giving back to the world. And now that sounds a little bit lofty perhaps for some of you, but trust me, the Bliss Stage, very different from the honeymoon stage, but one that you really want to be working towards. It's kind of the VIP level of relationships. So how are you going to get to the Bliss Stage? Well, obviously, that's where I come in. So the Happily Ever After relationship training is designed to give you all the tools and the tactics to get towards that stage. And we need to look at, what the course is going to be teaching you as a little overview, and also how it works. So initially, let's look at it from a practical point of view. The course is designed so that on a weekly basis, you will be issued training videos, which you'll need to sit down and watch in an undistracted environment. So please try and get rid of kids and pets and physical distractions like that, and also obviously the omnipresent phone and the distraction of social media and online platforms and all that other gubbins. It really does benefit you to give this your full attention. I'm also going to be supporting those videos with some workbooks and some exercises, which I'll be sending over to you as well on a weekly basis. So that you can't skip ahead. It really is important that you do things in order. And finally, I want to be setting up some calls with you. Now, from experience, I know that not everybody is massively comfortable coming on to a live call and asking questions. And equally, when you're talking about something as personal as relationships, people don't necessarily want to come on and talk about what's going on in their relationship. So I want to set these up in a way where everybody feels comfortable to get their questions answered, but don't feel the need to have to, come on in a sort of a show and tell way. So I'm going to be asking for pre-submitted questions that I can read out anonymously. We'll probably use these videos as sort of like an FAQ system, because I sense that although each of you will be in a unique situation in your relationship, you'll find that there are common themes and situations that arise for many of us. So the material can be useful for other people in terms of problem solving. But obviously, you know, we won't be mentioning names, we won't be mentioning really personal details. It's just intended so that you can get the answers you need. If anything hasn't been covered in the video sections. Right, the course itself, what does the course cover? You're going to be learning some ninja skills here, and I don't say that lightly. I don't want to overpromise and underdeliver. I want you to understand that there are going to be some really, really massively helpful and life-changing things in this course for you. You're going to be learning all about, to begin with, you're going to be learning about emotional connection and why that's so important in your relationship, and you're going to be learning ways to connect to each other simply, easily, quickly, so that always comes to you in an effortless way. We're going to be really digging into your belief system, your needs, your values, your vision for your relationship. We really need to dig into your what you currently believe in your relationship, and also the reasons why you believe in those. So we're going to get deep into that. We're going to be looking at personality types and preferences, and I know some of you, because of the way you've come to this course, you already understand some of these personality typing profiles that people use for relationships, and it's easy to get bogged down and believe that one personality type is the be all and end all. So I want to say that, you know, that's one theory, one idea. I don't believe can be the total solution to the issue that we know as relationships. I think we need to have a really wide-ranging view of all the best knowledge. So that's why I'm here to kind of introduce you to different concepts, so that you can say, yeah, this really works well for me. And actually, at that point, I really want to say this is not a cookie cutter job. I'm not asking you to accept one type of relationship. I'm not saying to you, look, this is the gold standard of relationships and this is what you need to do. This is all about doing what's right for you. So it is a personal job. We're also going to learn about conflict, and conflict shows up in very different ways in your relationship. For some of you, that might be blazing rows. For others of you, it might be stony silences, and both of those are very damaging. In fact, my husband and I never really used to argue. We thought that we were quite smug about that, but actually we've since learned that not arguing is actually a major, major predictor of divorce. So you're going to learn how to argue, and that sounds a little bit weird, but trust me, you're going to learn how to argue, and also how to speak to each other in a way that makes you feel really seen and heard and understood, and that's a beautiful experience. We're going to look at sort of mindsets about complaints and understanding that people have got, they might be saying one thing but they actually mean another, and yes, I'm not expecting you to read each other's minds. You're actually going to have the tools to really understand what's going on, and it makes life so much easier. You're able to just, instead of reacting to your partner's behaviour, you can actually go, oh, this is why I feel that way, that's why they feel this way, and you can just build a bridge and get over it. It's a beautiful thing. You're going to really, really be looking at meeting each other's needs, and understanding about taking responsibility in your relationships, and understand about the need to give in relationships. We're going to try and get you off those hamster wheel fights that you might be involved in. I know that all relationships have these, and we're going to look at ways to move that conflict out of your relationship. And then we're going to look at, why it's great to be different from each other, loving our differences and really appreciating them, and stop trying to change each other. So that's a big mindset that we want to be looking at. Then we're going to get super vulnerable. We're going to learn how to really, really share the deep inner part of ourselves, and to get very, very vulnerable with each other, so we can actually truly be ourselves with our partner, and what that looks like and how that feels like. And so that's a big week, that one. And then finally, everybody's favorite topic, sex. We're going to, once we've done all this stuff in your relationship, we really want to look at your sex life, because people obviously do report that sex dwindles over the course of a long-term relationship, and most people don't seem to be all that happy about their sex lives dwindling. So we want to look at why it happens and what we can do about it. And actually, you guys will be in the very best position to tackle your sex life towards the end of the training, because you'll have learnt all these other ninja skills to do with your relationship that actually makes your sex life very easy as a topic to tackle. And I know it can be a very touchy, thorny subject for people, so don't worry, we're going to cover that. So, fundamentally then we're going to look at, you basically being an unbeatable team, having each other's backs and going forward into the world, and being able to just grow your relationship into this beautiful thing that you want it to be. Now, we also need to talk about your expectations. Are things going to be better after 8 weeks? Yes, they are. Is your relationship going to be 100% fixed? No. And I say this because I don't want you to get to the end and feel like, oh, well, it was supposed to be all rainbows and butterflies. Let's look at this logically. Okay, so, time in itself is kind of a challenge for most people. You're going to learn a lot over 8 weeks. And you'll need some time for that to sink in, and you'll need some time to really practice that. It's kind of like, say you were starting a new fitness or diet regime and you wanted to lose some weight, or get in great shape. You put all this effort in, you learn new things, you absolutely hammer it until you get to your goal. And then, if you then stop exercising or, eating right, those results are not going to stay. So actually what we're looking for, the sweet spot, is, to take all these ideas and theories forward, and, to apply them consistently in your relationship. That's where the magic is going to happen. This process is about learning, it's about consolidating, it's about getting everything in place so that you have all the skills to really create this wonderful relationship. So it's definitely going to, the focus is on making your relationship viable in the long term, to make it as great as you want it to be. The other thing I need to say is, there will be setbacks. I have to be completely honest with you, because this is a major expectation that we need to cover. There will be setbacks in your relationship. Most of you're an intelligent group of people. You understand success is not linear. It does not go, people regularly talk about this, where they say, I was, a busboy for 26 years before I came an overnight success. People have to put in the groundwork to really reach where the heights of where they want to be. And there will be times when you slip back. There will be times when you go into old patterns. There will be times when you find things creeping back in your relationship that you'd thought you'd sorted out. It won't be up. It'll be up, down. In fact, I liken this to, if any of you know about the way that Everest was summited back in 1953, the team went to the base camp, and then they went up to Camp 1 to acclimatise for a little while, and then they came back down again. And then they went up to Camp 1 and then to Camp 2, and they acclimatised there, and then they came down again. And so it went on until they got up to Camp 5 and they summited. Now, if you think about your relationship in those terms, there's going to be some ups, there's definitely going to be some downs again. So please don't feel disheartened if you find yourself slipping back. Just understand that you've got the tools, you've got the ability to make things better. It's in the applying of what you've learned that you're going to make your really great gains. And don't feel like you're alone either, because actually everybody goes through this. We're all human beings. None of us are perfect, and we will all have moments where things are hard. Equally, it's very worthwhile saying at this point as well that both in my relationship and also in any other online courses that I've done, what I've found is that sometimes there are particular topics that you just don't want to deal with, and it probably won't even happen consciously. You might find yourself, wanting to go out and wash the car or clean the house or play computer games or just work really, really long hours that day because you don't want to face this particular topic. And if you find yourself doing that, I would suggest to you that those are the topics that you actually need to dig in, really pay close attention to, because generally the things that we are trying to avoid, we've avoided them for a reason, and those are the ones where we do need to dig deep, and really, really try and focus our attention. And I know it's hard. I've definitely been there. More than one occasion. There was one topic where I remember every time I started getting into it, I would just fall asleep. I would literally just, I could be full of beans minutes before I'd start this out, and just my brain was shutting down. So please don't feel like there will be points when you're struggling. And don't worry about that, because we're all human, we've all been there. But do just make a mental note of which those topics are, because those are the ones where you're going to have to probably just dig a little bit deeper, and really try and find out what's going on for you there. Now, finally, the observant of you will have noticed that my husband is entirely absent from these videos, and he is a bit like a snow leopard. You may see him on camera very occasionally. He is my tech support, and equally he is by proxy your tech support also in this course. So the videos and everything that I'm going to be delivering to you are all going to come via Google Docs. We're going to give you a little handy guide about how that works in case you don't know. But if you've got any technical questions, please feel free to send them over, and Andy will be able to help out. Yes, he's not much one for coming on camera. Equally, when we first started looking to heal our relationship, he was not really on board with the process. It was kind of like trying to give a cat a bath, which any of you will understand that most cats not fond of water. So to those of you, and I know there are quite a few of you who've basically said, I really want to do this, but my other half is not completely down with the situation, please don't worry. There's two things here. Number one, you can actually make a vast change in your relationship on your own. And that might sound crazy, but think about it. One of you can completely mess up your relationship, can't you? Think of it, if somebody says something bad, does something horrible, one person of the two of you can actually do negative things that result in a negative action. And equally, logically, on the reverse side of that, one of you can make a massive positive change. So don't worry about that at all. If you need to do this on your own, don't worry. You will still see really brilliant, productive results. Equally though, I'm going to send you a little document that helps you to convince your partner. I say convince, to inspire your partner to join you in the process, because if you can do it together, obviously it's just a lovelier experience for the two of you. So I'm going to give you that guide to help you to inspire your partner to come on board, because honestly, the more we try and convince somebody to do something that we want, the less likely they are to do it. So please don't try and force them. Please don't try and coerce them or manipulate them. Basically what we want to do is offer somebody the choice to do it. If they say no, it's fine. I'm here for you. We'll get through this. Don't worry. But fundamentally, what I would say to you here is be the change you wish to see. So You start showing up, being the best you can be, being the most positive you can be, and you will see some positive changes. And equally, this is not therapy, it's not counselling. Those things focus on, digging through your past and looking for things that have happened in the past. This is actually a present and future facing process. This is all about looking at where you are now and where you want to be. So, whilst between the two of you, things will pop up. You will want to talk about things that have happened in your past. You definitely won't be expected to share any of that with me, with the group, if you don't want to. It's literally all about what you're comfortable with. And, I know that a lot of people are saying, oh, we've done therapy, it didn't work, we've done counselling, it didn't work. And, those things can feel torturous because you meet with somebody and you have this weird session where you're like, blah, 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 this happened, this happened, this happened, cry for an hour. And then it's like, oh, same time next week. You get no sense of being given answers, of being given a time frame. Those things in themselves are very unsettling, which is why we want to create something here which has got a set time frame where you are given tools and skills to be able to make the change in your relationship, because that's really what is most important here. So thank you once again for turning up and listening to me for this first initial just welcome video. You are amazing. You're doing something absolutely incredible, and I completely salute you, because it's, it can be a thing that requires a lot of courage. So well done you. I can't say this enough. I really, really appreciate each and every one of you for showing up. And in return, I am going to do my damnedest to do everything I can to help you to get the results that you really want and you deserve. So yes, thank you once again. And if you have any questions at all, then please get in touch, and look forward to really, getting excited, getting enthusiastic. Together, we're going to make a massive change in your life. So that is going to be just beautiful and wonderful. And I hope you are very much as excited as I am. Thank you once again, and I'll speak to you very, very soon. Take care. Bye.